Hello, I'm John Cunningham. Welcome to the RedChip Money Report. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Today on the show, you'll see interviews with executives from 3 public companies. First, Meso Numismatics, stock symbol MSSV on the OTC. MSSV is a numismatic company specializing in the Meso region, including Central America and the Caribbean. The company has become the main hub for rare, exquisite, and valuable inventory for not only the Meso region, but also for exceptional items around the world. Later, you'll learn more about their business in an interview with a consultant for the company. Up second is Advantago Corporation, stock symbol ADGO on the OTCQB. ADGO is a digital communications and enterprise software company. Their focus on specialized business processes and service offerings puts them in an ideal position to generate growth and recurring revenue streams from a variety of industries. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the program. The final company you'll meet today is Esports Entertainment, stock symbol GMBL on the OTCQB. GMBL is a licensed online gambling company specializing in esports wagering. Later, we'll talk with the CEO and you'll learn more about their recently launched wagering platform and the tremendous success they've had building an impressive network of affiliate marketers, setting the stage for strong growth in the quarters and years ahead. Now, before we get to our first interview, our quote of the week comes from the book Small Stocks, Big Money. Management is critical. Having strong, focused, disciplined leadership at the top is paramount in building a successful company. As an investor in microcaps, one should study the leadership, check their background, and be aware of their past successes and/or failures. This quote comes from John Papajohn, a venture capitalist featured in Chapter 7 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. The book is available on our website and at Amazon.com. Now let's go to our first interview today. It's with Jeffrey Staller. He's a strategic consultant for Meso Numismatics.
Hi, Jeffrey. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start off the interview with a brief overview of Meso and maybe mention some of the traction that the company has generated over the past year.
Of course. Meso is a numismatic and technology company specialized in the Meso region, but with a global inventory and client base. The Meso store, which we will soon briefly discuss, continues to generate daily revenue and has an inventory base with a market value of approximately $300,000. The Meso app, which we will also discuss shortly, has begun to gain a lot of traction and continues to receive downloads as well as crucial feedback. Over this past year, the company completed an audit and just filed a Form 10 with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the company will soon be uplisting to the OTCQB.
Now, what's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Meso Numismatics today?
First again, Meso is the only numismatic and technology company in the public markets. Second, in an effort to show that the company is not the typical pink sheet company, they went ahead and filed a Form 10 with the SEC, getting ready to uplist from the pink sheets to the OTCQB. And as you know, many companies say that they're going to do this, upgrade from the pink sheets, but not actually make it. So we're extremely thrilled about that. And third, the company continues to make money daily while also having an emerging app, which will soon bring in a great deal of attention and additional revenues to the company as well.
Jeffrey, let's focus on your business model. How does Meso Numismatics make money?
Well, there's actually multiple revenue streams. First and foremost, the Meso store, which I mentioned briefly before, it allows the company to really ring the cash register daily. And we've already sold in the past year about $100,000 through there. Now, this is an avenue for continuous revenue. The company also sends out some of their rarer inventory to some of the largest auction houses in the world, all across the world, and consign some of the items there. And in addition, as a registered dealer with NGC, which is the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, and PMG, the Paper Money Guarantee, many of Meso's clients actually consign some of their items with the company. Thereby, Meso gets a cut out of every deal, every item that they consign as well. So that's continuous revenue being generated there. The next step basically is going to be the app, which the company is going to soon start monetizing, and they hope that that's going to introduce an entirely new revenue stream to the company, and that's what it's poised to do at this point.
Discuss how the Meso app works and maybe mention some of the traction the app has generated.
So it's actually very simple. The Meso app is an essential tool if you're in the numismatic industry. And if you're not, well, then it's just a fun app to have, to be honest. Basically, the app is a banknote recognition scanner, and it identifies key information about a banknote that is being captured. The end user would go and take a picture of a banknote from any smartphone that they're looking to inquire information about a note. After a few seconds, the company's artificially intelligent technology pulls up results which matches the banknote being scanned with a list of about 10 comparable notes. The user clicks on the one that he or she is seeking. It'll show them an exact replica of the one they're scanning. From there, they're able to find out the catalog reference number of the note, the exact value of the note, which entity it was issued by, the country of origin, the printer that printed it. Basically, the company's database is comprised of over 61,000 banknotes from 750 countries, territories, and regions from around the world. So it's scanned, the end user sees the results, they click on which one's theirs, and all that while, the artificially intelligent system continues just learning and learning. So each time the search result is going to yield a much better result. The app was released on the Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store, where they've received collectively several hundred plus downloads. They continue to generate great feedback, very useful. And ultimately, this app will become so much more over the next couple of builds or upgrades. The company will be discussing that a little bit later, but it's also going to be a community, a banknote community, if you will, an area to buy, sell, trade. It's going to be very exciting, in the next few builds.
It does sound exciting. How big is the market opportunity for the Meso app and the other products of Meso Numismatics? And how much of the market do you think Meso Numismatics can capture over the next 2 to 3 years?
Great question. Well, the market opportunity is actually pretty huge right here. Right now, the global rare coin and numismatic market is valued between $5 billion and $8 billion annually. So it's a very large market. Considering the growth and the scalability that the company has had thus far and over the past year, I have no doubt that ultimately they'll be able to pull a few percentage points from that massive multi-billion-dollar market. Again, the amount that the company has scaled over the past year, I have no doubt that they will continue growing and ultimately take a much larger market share of the global numismatic industry.
Now to recap, what's the main takeaway for investors? Why should they own your stock today?
Well, the takeaway would be the potential of a company like this. A company that is actually making the leap from the pink sheets to the OTCQB in an effort to increase their transparency. A company that does not just have an amazing technology behind them, but one that is actually making money and ringing the cash register daily at the same time. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that we've seen a floor as it comes to the company stock price and whatnot. And I believe with all the news and everything that's going to be happening internally, the right investors will learn about Meso in a somewhat turbulent market, if you will.
Sounds like a fascinating story. Thanks for sharing it, Jeffrey.
Thank you for having me, Craig. It's been a pleasure.
Now, to get more information about Meso Numismatics, visit MSSVinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now let's go to our second interview today. It's with Rob Ferguson. He's the chairman and CEO of Advantago Corporation.
Hi, Rob. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, Craig. It's great to be with you.
Let's start the interview with you giving us a brief overview of your products and services.
Okay, a quick overview of Advantago Corporation is we are a digital communication and enterprise software provider. We do this through two wholly owned subsidiaries, Advantago Technologies, located in Irvine, California, and our sales and marketing operation in Henderson, Nevada. We do this utilizing a proprietary platform, and we deliver these products as a specialized business process as a service. So that's kind of the 2-minute overview of what we really do.
Now, it sounds like Advantago is involved in a lot of industries. How do you determine which projects to work on, and what's the priority?
Good question, Craig. Over the period of time that we took over the company here back in October 2016, we've had the opportunity to develop a number of strategic partnerships with third-party, best-in-class technology providers. And though we have a library of technology that we have at our beck and call, you might say, we have focused on just several products right now, moving out the door and into 2019. Advantago TV, which is a patented digital signage controller product that we've integrated a couple of other solutions with, our Advantago directory listing product, and then our convertible note disclosure report, which is on the enterprise side of things, are the specific three that we're basically rolling out and putting our focus in today. It doesn't mean that as things come up down the road, we'll be able to go into this library of products and services that we have available to us and address some specific need. But you're right, we have a large variety. We have some tremendous technology partners that have partnered with us. And as things come up, we don't have to go looking for it. It would be right there. But first things first, and the idea is let's get sustainable, let's get profitable, and then we'll expand our product base.
What's the essential value proposition for Advantago? Why should investors take an interest today?
Okay, so the value proposition as it relates to Advantago versus maybe some other new or infant software provider is they typically need large amounts of capital. And you go out and you'll find a specific niche in the market. You want to go raise a bunch of software capital to develop this thing where we're already 60 to 70% done with any particular application that we may address. So by having this intelligent solutions platform, all we'll do is add to certain things within the modules that are already available, and we can get to market with a product not only quickly, but very cost effectively and beat the pants off anything, which means that our rate of return on our invested dollars is astronomical compared to the normal recovering of capital that your typical startup software companies have.
Now let's discuss that proprietary intelligent solutions platform. What is it, and how does it give you an advantage over your competitors?
Okay, so our intelligent solutions platform is made up of a number of modules. It's a large enterprise software system in itself, and what it does is it allows us to integrate these third-party technologies into these particular modules as need be. So the system itself, it's got workflow, it's got security, it's got communication systems, it's got a hub where we can integrate third-party existing data and systems. And so it's made up of a number of different modules that allow us flexibility that, that into itself would be a business. In other words, going out, raise the capital to build this platform to go do what we do. But we already have that, so this is able to shortcut it and allows us to basically take your good application and put it in our platform, send it out to the market, and basically go out and compete with everybody. We're 60 to 70% done before we start, and that's something that most people don't have.
Let's focus on your business model, Rob. How do you make money?
Well, Craig, we basically find a specific niche in a market, put together a product, configure it, we deliver it to the marketplace. We make our money initially when we make the initial sale. And then long term, our whole goal is recurring revenue. So once somebody pays me once, I expect them to keep paying me. And as long as we do a good job on the customer support and maintain a good customer retention, our customer acquisition costs, decrease as time goes on. And that's how we make our money.
Rob, how big is the market opportunity for these products and services? How much of this market do you think Advantago can capture over the next few years?
That's a really good question. And we kind of look at the world as our boundary. And so what we've kind of done is taken a step back and look at some low-hanging fruit in some specific markets, some specific technologies, and kind of focused our efforts here getting into 2019 with our Advantago TV product, our Advantago business listings product, and the convertible debt as we roll into 2019. There are other products that we have on the shelf that we're developing that once these then get the traction, we get to sustainability, which we think we can do, say, mid-year next year. We'll then unleash these other ones. But the market itself, a lot of these markets are so big, if we just get a fraction of it, that'll be great. And once we get to a point where we're not seeing the growth based on the number or the amount of money we're spending marketing-wise, we've probably tapped out at that. And then we're going to just adjust to customer support, customer retention, and that kind of stuff. And then on the other side, where we have niche markets where you don't have a lot of big guys in it, it's kind of like the convertible debt report that we're doing. Nobody's doing that. And so we can get into that, and we expect to get a large share of that market. Maybe we can get 10, 20% of that market, which would be substantial. So it just depends. can't really put a handle on it. Just as long as we're making money, it doesn't matter to me. We look more in terms of revenue and profit rather than percentage of market.
Rob, to recap, what's the main takeaway for investors? Why should they own your stock today?
I think the best opportunity is when you get into an investment with a young company that has a vision and a focus and has flexibility where it doesn't need large amounts of capital to execute. And we've been able to do that and provide that. And as we move forward in this particular situation, since we are so young, we're able to scale things and increase revenue and profits at a greater percentage than you can when you become a big mature company, as you know, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road, which from a standpoint of an investor today, you can get a bigger bang for your buck today than you can down the road. I mean, you know, we're not an Amazon or a Google or any of those guys, but then when you get to that point, yeah, you're very mature, you're very predictable, but the ability to get an upside and a rate of return on your investment, it's nowhere near where you can when you start, you know, at the beginning of something. And that's where we are today.
Makes a lot of sense, Rob, and it's a great story. Thanks for being with us today.
Appreciate it, Craig.
Now, to get more information about Advantago Corp, visit adgoinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now, our third interview today is with Grant Johnson, Chairman and CEO of Esports Entertainment. Let's go to the interview.
Grant, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, David.
You know, esports continue to gain in popularity with nearly 400 million fans globally and growing. For our viewers today, let's start with what are esports and where does esports entertainment fit into this rapidly growing market?
Okay, effectively, esports is professional video game play where players play either in a one-on-one environment or they play on teams and they play against each other in organized tournaments for cash prizes. Where we fit into this huge growing sector of the entertainment market is we offer a number of different options for people to place bets on their favorite player or their favorite teams in areas where it's legally allowed online wagering.
What's the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in esports entertainment today?
For those investors who've been following any of the news on our company, we've recently closed our first round of commercial investment with some Wall Street banks, Jay Gunner and Dinosaur Securities. These funds are going to be used for the first time to allow us to raise awareness in the market, attract players to our platform. So now is the perfect time because for the first time, we're going to be able to really get out there and put our message out to this huge market.
Grant, how many affiliates do you have today?
Currently, we have nearly 600 affiliates, and they come from 2 different categories. We have about 180 teams. These are professional teams. These would be Tier 3, Tier 4 teams, which are local teams that have signed on as affiliates. And the remaining affiliates are what you would consider YouTube personalities or streamers, that they broadcast whether they're gameplay or commentary on esports. And they've signed on with us to do in a revenue share arrangement.
Grant, what makes your platform different or better than the competition?
We offer something unique in that we have the only what's referred to as a bet exchange. And a bet exchange, unlike a traditional sports betting site where the player bets against the house, the players bet against each other. So player A decides that they like Team Liquid and they want to give whatever odds they want to give, 1.5, 2. And then player B, they may be a fan of Energy and they don't believe Liquid's going to win. They believe those are good odds. They would match that odds. And we also have pool betting. So we're the only company that offers exchange and pool betting.
Grant, let's talk about your business model. How do you make money?
Okay, as I just explained, we have the 2 different platforms. On each platform, we take a percentage, a commission, if you would, off the winner's pot, like in a poker room environment where the house takes a rake from the winner's purse. So that's how we make revenue on the exchange. And then the pool betting, where the fans of Team A bet in X number of dollars into the pool against the fans of Team B, they bet X number of dollars into the pool. Whichever team wins, we take a percentage of their winnings as well. So we're player agnostic. We don't care which team wins, which team loses. In our environment, we never take exposure. So for our investors, that's probably important for the investors to know that we could never be offside like a bookmaker can. and we have multiple revenue streams. We will also be launching a third product next year, but currently that's how we make money.
In May, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of online sports betting, opening up a significant market opportunity. How big is the opportunity globally? And what's the timeline for changes in the U.S. and will you be able to take advantage of those changes?
Well, globally, the market is expanding so quickly, it's hard to keep tabs on the numbers. It depends which groups you look at. The numbers are approaching 400 million in terms of a fan base currently. Some analysts project that number will eclipse 500 million by 2020. Forbes recently came out and said they anticipate that the online gambling on that market from that fan base in 2020 will hit $23 billion. So this is a rapidly expanding space globally. As far as the U.S. is concerned, with the Supreme Court ruling, that definitely cracks the door open for opportunities as the states are now setting up their regulatory boards for online gambling. I think there's 6 states that are at the final stages now, expected to be 15 next year, and in a few years, eventually it'll be around 30 some odd states. For us, it's a little early stage to bring a gambling product into the American marketplace. So what we're going to do, our strategy for the U.S. in the new year, is we're going to be launching a skill-based platform, which is acceptable in 40 states, where people will be able to play in cash tournaments for prize money. And that will be our first U.S.-facing product.
Grant, tell us about some of the key players on your management team.
Christopher Malone recently joined the company. That really strengthens our financial team. He's got 20 years experience as a CFO for publicly traded companies, which, as you can imagine, takes great stress off me when it comes to audits and managing the financial back end of the company. From an esports perspective, we have Randy Greenback, who's 25 years in game design, started his career with Electronic Arts. He is our creative genius. Brian Cordray has been a professional esports team owner. He's our head of esports. On the gambling side, we have Jan Rosen, he's our chief technical officer. He's built over 60 online sports gambling sites. And Sandra Osterland, she's been a gambling affiliate manager for over 5 years. So we've taken people who have extensive experience financially, a wealth of experience from esports, and married that with people who have gambling expertise. So the management, that is the big asset. And we've been able to bring in experts from those 3 different areas under one roof.
And you will begin generating revenues in the first quarter, is that correct?
First quarter, next calendar year, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
To recap, what's the main takeaway for investors? Why should they consider owning your stock today?
We're the only publicly traded company that's focused on gambling in the esports sector. The esports sector is the fastest growing sector in the entertainment industry. We've recently secured a substantial investment from the banking community to allow us to now start to execute our marketing plan. We have the only esport bet exchange, so we don't take exposure. For our investors, there's less risk. And we offer also the pools as well with the new product coming. So if people are interested in the sector, to be frank, we're the only company that they can invest in.
Grant, thanks for being with us today.
Always a pleasure, David. Thanks for having me.
Now, to get more information about Esports Entertainment, visit GMBLinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. Now let's recap the 3 public companies we met with today. First, we met with Meso Numismatics, stock symbol MSSV on the OTC. Forecasting a 2019 OTCQB uplisting, MSSV is ideally positioned as one of the first public numismatic companies in the market. You can learn more about the market opportunity and growth potential at MSSVinfo.com. The second company you met with today was Advantago Corporation, symbol ADGO on the OTCQB. Their focus on specialized business process as a service offerings puts them in an ideal position to generate growing and recurring revenue streams from a variety of industries. Visit adgoinfo.com today and learn more. The final company you met with was Esports Entertainment Group, stock symbol GMBL on the OTCQB. GMBL's innovative wagering platform is in a market that researchers forecast could reach $20 billion by 2020. Esports Entertainment is a rare and true ground floor opportunity. Visit gmblinfo.com for more information. Now, these stocks are for your speculative money. Gains can be significant, but you must be prepared for the downside. Clients on this show may sometimes pay us in stock. While you're buying, we may be selling. You can read our full disclosures at redchip.com. And if you know a public company looking for investor relations services, don't hesitate to give us a call at 1-800-REDCHIP, or you can email us at info@redchip.com. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you the same time next week.